Welcome to Monday Moments with Fran. I hope you are doing well. Yesterday I went for a walk and I was chatting to a friend and I was sharing with them that I had been a little bit concerned because I'm, in the middle of a project, and I had begun to think about other people's reactions, specifically some people who I used to be, really close to, and I was really concerned and thinking how they're going to react, what are they going to say, what might they do? And before you know it, within my mind, I'd built up this really dramatic scenario that had taken me weeks and months down the line, and it was like worst case scenario. So as I was telling my friend, my concerns about this thing, they kind of stopped me and said, but Fran, you don't know the journey they've been on in the last couple of years since you've seen them. You don't know, maybe what God's been doing in their life and how they've changed, and they're not necessarily the same, it's not the same person that you left a couple of years ago. And I was just almost stunned into silence, which is quite a rarity because as if you have gotten to know me through Monday Moments, or you know me anyway, you'll know that I love to talk and I can talk very freely. And most of the time I always have something to say. But literally there was nothing I could say, because in that moment I realized that they were right and I was wrong. And I had to take some time to really reflect on that possibility, that the outcome that I had thought of in my own mind, in my dramatic self, had, preempted, was not necessarily the right way to think and then the right way to behave. Because sometimes the way that you and I are, the way that we think, quite frankly, it's not good and it needs to change. There are times when I could be just again thinking about a scenario, or I could hear a noise outside my house, and before you know it, I have conjured up the worst possible case scenario of a scene. So someone's trying to break into my house, they're going to storm in, they're going to, do the worst things. And it's like, no, Fran, just listen and take your mind in a different direction. And so this week's encouragement is, I want you to remain teachable, to remain in a posture that says that, you know what, I don't know everything. I don't always get it right, and I'm going to be willing to listen to another viewpoint from somebody who you respect, that you care about, that you trust, that has got, again, your best interests at heart when they're sharing something with you. Because there are times we have to admit that we are wrong. And that's perfectly okay. When we're wrong, and when we can admit that we're wrong, it positions us to remain teachable, to remain with a heart that is malleable, that can still be molded and changed and hopefully improved. Because no matter where you are in your life, there's someone who's further down the journey than you, who's older, who's wiser, who knows more than you. And it's really, well, to be fair, they could even be younger than you, because it's not an age thing. I believe it's so much about wisdom. But there's also our choice to heed the wisdom, to hear what they're saying, and not just jump back with an immediate response or to remain on the defensive, but to pause and say, actually, you know what? Maybe that's worth considering. Because I can definitely testify to the fact that what my friend was saying yesterday, they were absolutely right. I can't assume and I can't think for other people and then decide their course of action, particularly if it's in a negative light and then it causes me like stress and anxiety. It's unnecessary. We have to remain teachable, and we have to remember that there's other ways of thinking and doing things in a much more positive light. I hope that's been helpful. Don't forget to encourage somebody else as you go about your weekly activities, and take good care. God bless you.